everyone, welcome to Stamp Designs with Denise. I'm Denise Johnson, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Bedford, New Hampshire. I'm happy you're joining me today. I'm going to be making some cards using embossing folders. So I'm just going to take a minute here, make sure that my live video has started. Yes, it looks like it has, so we're good to go. I have a lot of teacher friends that watch, so I don't expect a lot of live viewers today because most people are getting back to work, going back to their teaching jobs, and getting ready either to virtual teach or have kids in their classroom. So if you're doing that, thank you for joining me later after your school day. I appreciate it, and I hope that things are going well and everybody is staying safe. So today is the last day of August. Labor Day's coming up, almost the end of the summer. It's been an interesting summer, interesting 6 months, I guess, for all of us. If you placed an order with me during the month of August, I always send out a PDF file of exclusive card tutorials. So thank you for placing an order, and you should look for that in your email box within the next week. Also, if you're a paper pumpkin subscriber of mine, at the end of the month, I always send out a PDF file containing at least 10 alternate ideas for your monthly paper pumpkin kit. So that should be coming within the next week or so. I always do a raffle if you watch my video and make a comment or share it. And so the winner of last week was Jennifer LeBranch. I know that she's not a big stamper yet, so I'm going to send her a package of some cards that I made. So hopefully she'll have some people that she can send those off to. I see that Janet is joining me. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Janet's two daughters stamp a lot, and so I'm happy to have them, and I'm happy to have Janet watching. So I am going to get my camera turned around, and we're going to get started making some cards. I'm going to cover this so that as I move my camera. Okay, let me get this in and get it straightened out. And we should be good to go. It looks like Sue has joined us. You are working, but you're watching me. That's great. So a few housekeeping things. The paper pumpkin kit for September will be the Hello Pumpkin, which will be treat packages that you can make either in a Halloween or fall theme. And you need to place your order. You need to order it by September 10th, and then it gets shipped out on the 11th. Last day for bonus days. I think almost everybody that placed an order with me in July got their bonus day coupons, and they have now placed their August order and redeemed their coupons. And then tomorrow, the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine is going on sale. It is $120, and I'm going to use that today to do some embossing on the cards that we're going to make, so I will show that to you. And let me get this out of the way, and we will get started. So this is our new Stamping Cut and Emboss machine. I had showed it last week. It folds up nicely. The bases fold down, and then there's some plates that are all numbered so that you know how to make your sandwiches. There's pictures here that show you how to make your sandwich. So I'm going to emboss the papers that I need to first, and then we'll use them to make cards. So the first one is, this is a rich razzleberry, and I'm going to do the Cobwebs, and it says 3D embossing folder right on it, so I know it's a 3D folder. And then looking on this, I know that if I'm using the 3D embossing folder, I need to do my base plate, my embossing folder, and then the number 4 plate. So this just goes in right here. I always do the folded side in first, so the pressure goes this way, and it's not going to break my binding. So this is my number 4 plate. This was the Cobwebs folder, so as you can see when it comes out, it's got cobwebs on it. And we'll put that one aside, and then the next one I'm going to do, this is actually a brushed metallic paper. And I'm going to be doing this Evergreen Forest, which is also a 3D embossing folder. So the 3D embossing folder just means that it gives it, I guess it makes a deeper impression, and it gives it a little more detail. So because this is 3D again, I'm using just my base plate, my embossing folder, and then the number 4 plate. And we'll crank this through. And then this is what this looks like. It looks very pretty on this brushed metallic. And then my last card, I have a sheet of the Seaside spray. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to punch out a moose first, sort of in the lower left corner, using the moose punch right there. And then I am going to put this into the Winter Snow embossing folder, which has snowflakes all over it. So this is not a 3D. It doesn't say 3D on it. It's just a regular embossing folder. So for that, I go back here and I look, and I want to do the base plate, and then using number 3 plates, 2 of them, one on the bottom and one in between to make my sandwich. So I'll need one of these, put in my embossing folder, and then my other number 3 plate. It's not as thick as the 3D embossing folder, so you need the extra plate. And we'll roll that through. And then this is what the snowflake one looks like. And then I decided, because I had this little moose who's awful cute, I wanted to use him, so I have a piece of rich razzleberry that I'm also going to run through, and then we'll make a bonus card with our little moose so that we don't waste him. And so then that's our last embossed piece of cardstock. So I'm going to set these aside, and then I'll have them available when I'm ready to make those cards. I'm going to put my stamp and cut and emboss machine out of the way. Okay, so our first card, I'm going to use this one that we just embossed using that Cobwebs 3D embossing folder. And I have the stamp set we're going to use is a Wish for Everything, and it also coordinates with this Word Wishes dies, which you can use to die cut all these different, they're all the holidays: Valentine's, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, Easter, St. Patrick's Day, New Year's. So we're going to make a Halloween card. So I'm going to use the Happy Halloween dies. And then the inside sentiment will be wishing you a trick-or-treating, candy-eating, frightful, delightful time. So that's what we're going to use for this. So I have my card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then what I'm going to do is I have a, let's see, we're going to use a cat punch. So I have a sheet of this, which is the plaid. This one from the Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper package. So I'm doing this side, which is the Halloween side. The back side is Christmas. And I'm actually going to just punch my cat out of the middle of this. And this is going to be used for layering, so you're not going to see where I punched the hole out. That's why I did it from the middle. So that's got layered like that. And then I'm going to put my punched out cat here on the front. Okay, I got a lot of pieces of paper here. And then I wanted to put him on a circle, but I wasn't sure what color circle. I think maybe that Mango Melody one. So let's start layering this and getting it together. So by punching that cat right out of the middle, I made the best use out of that paper and didn't have to use another scrap piece. So I'm going to put this here in this corner, and then I'm going to put my cat on top of it. And then, so this is a 2 1/4 inch circle punch in the Mango Melody. And then I took those dies from that Word Wishes dies, and I punched them out already. And what I do is I use the adhesive strips, and I put an adhesive strip on the back and then cut it out so that when I go to attach it, it has adhesive already on it, and it makes it a lot easier to attach, and I don't have to use a lot of glue and make a mess. So this adhesive will just peel right off the back. I do got to punch out the center of the letters. I'm using the Take Your Pick tool to do that. And then I'm just going to put this right across here. See, and then that sticks on nicely with those adhesive sheets. And we'll add our word, our happy. And put that right across there. And there's the front of our card. All done. And then we are going to decorate the inside. I have the Tuxedo black ink. I'm going to do my wishing you a trick-or-treating, candy-eating, frightful, delightful time on the inside. And then I did have a scrap piece of this plaid paper, so I thought maybe I would decorate the inside a little bit by adding maybe some of that on the inside to carry some of the front decorations to the inside. My tape doesn't seem to want to work today. And there we go. And that's our Halloween card using that 3D Cobwebs embossing folder. I'll get this picked up, cover my ink so I don't get it on me. Put that aside. So I don't know if I told you the measurements. I'll put all the measurements in the video description. So the plaid paper was 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then the rich Razzleberry was 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Okay, so our next card we're going to do is we're going to use the one where I did the embossed the metallic cardstock with our Evergreen Forest 3D embossing folder. So for this, we're going to use the Peaceful Boughs and then the Beautiful Boughs dies. Our card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. It's scored at 4 1/4. I'm just going to burnish that. This is that brushed metallic. It comes in the copper, gold, and the bronze colors. So it's very pretty cardstock. And we're going to just attach this right to here. I'm not going to add a lot to this because the paper itself is just so pretty. You don't want to cover too much of it up. So this cardstock is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I also have a piece of Very Vanilla, which is the 5 1/4 by 4 inches, which is going to go on the inside of our card. So we're going to decorate a little bit of that first. And I have going to do some stamping. So using the Mossy Meadow, I'm going to do my greeting, which is from the stamp set, Season's Greetings. That did not come out very dark, so we always have two sides to a piece of paper, so we're going to try it on the other side. Okay, that's better. And I'm going to use these beautiful bow dies, and so I would cut that out, run that through my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. And then I also want one of these that I'm going to cut out using a scrap piece of Mossy Meadow. So I have already done that. I've got these two. Oh, but I didn't stamp this. Let's try this again. Forgot I had cut it out, but I forgot to put the sentiment in it. There we go. So these are going to come on the front of my card like this. But I also wanted to add a little bit. I have this copper ribbon from the Metallic Combo Ribbon Pack. So I thought it would be nice to maybe fray a little bit of this and put it on the front. So I just pulled the end and kind of undid that hole to give a little bit. And then I'm going to attach this to the back here with some tape. Like that. I thought that added some extra sparkle to this card. And I'm going to tape that on as well. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals and put that on the front of my card. I just really like this brushed metallic cardstock, especially with this embossing folder. And then that's just going to go right there on the front, like that. And we're going to decorate the inside of our card now, though. So the sentiment for that is, may the spirit of peace gently fill your heart and home in this most wonderful time of year. So I'm going to put this here. And then I have one of those little bows that pine bows. I'm going to put in the corner on either side. And then also in this set it has these little dots, so I thought if I did that in the cinnamon cider, it would bring some of that copper color into the inside of the card. Like that. And then we can attach this to the inside of our card. And we have another card done. I really like this. I think it's simple, but it's really pretty. So give me some thumbs up if you comment or share this. Show me some love. It really helps me if you give me a likes or comment on my things. It helps me continue to bring free videos to you. So let's put this aside and we'll work on our next card. So this last one is going to be the one with the moose. This Merry Moose stamp set came out last year. I didn't get it last year, but I decided this year that I needed to get it, and I'm loving playing with it and making cards with it. So the Merry Moose stamp set, and it comes with this coordinating moose punch. So in the beginning you saw I punched out my moose first, and then I ran it through the embossing folder, the winter snow embossing folder. And we're also going to use some of this Plaid Tidings paper again. I'm going to use this pattern for this one. And let me just get all my pieces out here together. So I have a card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to burnish that. This card's going to go together pretty quickly because I have the plaid paper. Let me just find my measurements. Excuse me. So this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then the Seaside Spray was 4 by 5 1/4. So it's just going to layer on right like this. Excuse me, I got a dry throat now. So we're going to layer that right on like that. And then this is just going to go, actually I think I might use dimensionals and just pop this up a little bit. It'll give it a little bit of space. So put some around the moose so that he stands up away from the paper. And him on my plaid paper, a little crooked. Okay, and then I have a 1/2 inch piece of scrap paper. I'm going to use this piece, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment in the Melon Mambo, which coordinates with that pink color in there. And I'm going to stamp the Have a Cozy Christmas. Oh, I did that pretty straight. I'll let that one go. So then I have this banner pick-a-punch. So you can flag it this way or you can point it the other way, and they have channels in here for 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch. So slide that in, and then I'm just going to trim the other side a little bit, make it shorter. Put that in, and then that's our sentiment for the front. So I did think this definitely needs some sparkle, so I have my Wink of Stella brush, and I'm going to bring some of that sparkle to some of these snowflakes on the front. Oh, I squeezed it too hard. Well, that one's going to have a lot of sparkle. This is what happens with live TV. My Wink of Stella seems to be failing me today. Okay, and then we're also going to add some of these adhesive backed snowflakes. Hopefully those wet spots should dry and won't show up like that, because I hope I didn't just ruin this card by squeezing too hard on my Wink of Stella. And we'll put one there. So those are my snowflakes. So that's my first one. And then in the beginning I told you that I had punched out that little moose. So we're going to make a card now using my punch. And I had embossed this rich razzleberry. So let me clean up some of my stuff, my mess that I've now made. And I have the card base 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to put my embossed layer on. And then this is a scrap piece of paper from when I had trimmed this plaid piece. So it's 3/8 by 5 1/4. And then I also have a 1 inch piece of Whisper White that is also 5 1/4. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to tear this across. Kind of make it look like a little mound of snow. So what what I'm going to do is put that on, and then I'm going to attach my plaid piece to this as well. Like that, and then I'm going to have my moose standing there. That's the way I wanted to do that. So let's get these attached. Okay, that's lined up. And then that's going to go down there. And then I'll use some dimensionals on my moose. And then for him, let's see, our sentiment will be Merry Christmas. I think, will he fit on this piece? Yes, he will fit on this piece. So we're going to use the rich razzleberry. We'll use our banner punch again. I need to slide that in a little more, I think. So let's attach that with the dimensional. And there we go. And then for this one, I'm going to use some of these rhinestone jewels to add some sparkle. Just put a few in the center of my snowflakes. And there we go. So let me get my other cards. So this one, it dried over here. This is still drying, I think. So I'm hopeful this will dry completely and not look like such a mess that I made. So these are the cards I made using the embossing folders. This is my September host code, which you can start using today if you'd like to place an order. Remember to share and comment for a raffle prize. And you can watch my videos on my Facebook page and also on my YouTube channel. And remember to leave a little sparkle wherever you go.